Hello, my friends. I am the Dungeon Tutor. Welcome. I am answering another topic for RPGaDay, and today is the 6th day of August, which is the 6th topic. And today's topic is, what is an RPG that is easy to use? Well, using is always fun. But generally that means it's going to have relatively simple mechanics. Something that you can go and just on the fly come up with decisions and adjudications that make the game make sense and lead you to correct decisions because it's just the most natural choice. For your consideration, I would like to posit Ghostbusters. This was made by West End Games. And this was back in 1986. Yes, the Ghostbuster movie was extremely popular. Yes, it called for a role-playing game. And what a role-playing game it got. In this game, which is of course narrated by the Ghostbusters themselves, well, not actually just written in, but you get the idea. It is a comedy game, meaning that it teaches you how to laugh and have fun. Even if scary, kind of scary. I mean, you know, Ghostbusters isn't terrifying, but, you know, there are some elements that can startle. But to take that concept of you are hunting ghosts, effectively, and, you know, trying to save the day, trying to make money, trying to find romance, whatever your goal is, you have the iconic gear of a Ghostbuster, and you get to, in that scenario, figure out how your character is going to tackle that, which was probably going to be completely different from the way the actual Ghostbusters from the movie did. Your own fiction that you're writing, basically. And in that, the game gives, first of all, for ease of use for a game master, like 25 different adventure scenarios to throw at your players. Not all of the numbers and everything, but just the scenario. Here you go, here's a challenge the players can be up against, and here's why it is this way, and here's how they can solve it. So it's an adventure without the stats and stuff, which is all you really need. After that, you know, it's the game master, the ghost master, who adjudicates what makes this difficult, what role will you make, and that's all kind of described in the rules themselves, so it's pretty hands-on and gives you a lot of tools. Now, again, as far as ease of use, it's a simple game. It's got 4 stats. Your characters all are summed up by 4 stats, and each stat has a skill that you are specialized in, so if you're doing something related to that, it's a bit easier for you, which is cool. Even if your character is really, really, really dumb, you have one thing that you are at least slightly average to above average in. The rest of the time, you fear having to make rolls on that stat, but for that thing, you're okay. You're alright. And sometimes it can be a challenge to live up to that. Trying to stick to your strengths is not easy to do in Ghostbusters. Intentionally trying to get you to do things you're not very good at can be, well, let's say some game masters really love that aspect of it. I love the aspect that allows the players to explore their own character's drama and inner story and see the dialogue between the various Ghostbusters in your story and how it all, you know, spins together is great. But if the game itself was complicated, if there were a lot of snags that caught your players' attention and forced them to have to really work hard to imagine themselves in the scenario, that would be unfortunate. And in this case, there's a number of useful tools inside that box. For instance, gear cards. Everything your character has a card that represents that piece of gear, unless, of course, you're making up your own, but you can easily have some note paper and give them a improv card, and that's perfectly fine. Each character can only have so many items, so that they have to pick and choose and be smart about what they're going to carry with them and make sure they have the required gear that you will need. If there are ghosts to be caught, you're going to need the ghost zapper, the proton pack. You're going to need a trap to catch them in. So without somebody taking those items, your ghosts are going to go uncaught, unbusted. But usually people jump at the opportunity to have the packs and everything to feel like real Ghostbusters, and that also makes a certain amount of sense. But if you have a large group, maybe you don't have enough packs to go around. There's only so many of those cards. Ah, now what do? It is possible to be on a ghost-busting session and maybe not necessarily have a proton pack and a ghost trap with you. Maybe you can be that person who facilitates other things and has backup gear that can really help out. A first aid kit might be really useful or something like that. Maybe even a bullhorn for crowd control can be useful. Carrying around well, the computers in the time were a little too bulky to be portable, but if you're going to move things up to the modern age, yeah, somebody could have a laptop so they can look up Tobin's Spirit Guide or something to help you out. It's a nice little game with a lot of interesting elements, but its complexity is almost primitive, but that allows you a ton of flexibility and very, very, very low barrier of entry in teaching new concepts. And then when somebody comes up with an idea and it doesn't look like there's a cookie-cutter solution for it, it's pretty simple for a Ghostmaster to look at it and go, judging by what I've got, it's this. Okay, go ahead and roll. See what you do. And that's it. You don't have to look through charts. You don't have to. It's just, boom, that's my ruling. You're going to try that. It's going to involve this. That's what you're going to roll against. I already have a number of the difficulty of what you're trying to do. Go ahead and roll those dice and try to hit that. And that's how the game works. So, hopefully you enjoyed that. Now, I'm not saying that is it. There are a few other elements. Your character has brownie points, which it serves as your health. You run out of brownie points and you're going off to the hospital for a little, time away from the game. But you can spend your brownie points. You can actually use them to get extra dice to roll. So if you really, really, really want to do something, you can. You just kind of risk crippling yourself. It's an interesting concept. And as far as I know, it's the first role-playing game that had that mechanic, which I find to be interesting. So, my take for a game that's easy to use, Ghostbusters 86. Can still be found on PDF form online, and it's also possible to find this game floating around. I've seen a couple of copies of this before, so they also came out with the sequel, Ghostbusters International, and that kind of moved things forward a little bit, but they're fine games, and they can be absolutely wonderful to play with a group who knows how to laugh both at themselves and at others, and everybody can have an uproarious time busting ghosts and enjoying the pratfalls and mishaps that happen along the way. So, that's my answer. I hope you liked it. If you do enjoy this, then I recommend, looking out for other RPGaDay videos. There's a lot of people opining on this topic, and they've had different experiences than I have, different tastes. Could learn about a few new games with this one. I also hope that, maybe you consider liking, subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I appreciate it. It makes me feel good. And I do like to have that possibility of showing up on your feed, so if you want to hit the notifications so that you see when the next video comes out, that would be fantastic. I also hope that if you have somebody who's curious about, I want to get into these games, but I want something easy, maybe share this video with them. They might find something really fun in Ghostbusters, and the story has only evolved with all of these movies that have come out. Give it a chance. You might have a good time with it. But what I really hope for is for you to come back for more videos. I'm going to keep making more, so I want to see you at those videos. And if I do, I hope between then and now that you, yes, you, get a chance to roll some dice, to play some games, to have some fun. But stay safe out there, my friends. Until that next time, farewell.